Why did you refuse to be the Ascal's head coach countless times?
I've been there, done that. Too much politics, like I said. Like I posted one time a few days ago, coaching is a thankless job. With what's happening with Michael Weiss, we talked about it already before, personally, one-on-one, and I said, it happens. And I said, you should know that because you worked also somewhere in other countries as well. There's no such thing as a permanent job in coaching, in any sport.
Hey folks, welcome back to Hands On. We're back after a few weeks away.
Still just in the camera.
Welcome back. Today is a special show. We've got the members from KFC here. Lots of things going on in the world of the United Football League. Lots of changes and things to talk about, and we're going to get through most of them today. Coach Hans and myself, of course, very happy that you guys are here to join us once again, and thank you to Saras LaSalle Football Club for always sponsoring the show and supporting us here as we are on our fourth season, is it? Fourth season already?
Yeah. By the way, before we start, we'd like to send hands-on staff, production staff, and us hosts, and everybody in the football world, condolence to Ricky and Leo Ray Jansson. Ricky from the president of NOFA, the Negros Oriental Football Association, and Leo Ray Jansson, team owner of Ceres LaSalle. Condolence on the passing of their dad. We were there during the university games when their dad passed away, so keep it easy.
Yeah, sorry about that. And also, we're actually wanting to give out some information before we jump in with our guests today. The UP football scholar Roger Maglinas is actually having a fundraiser. The guy, unfortunately, has been diagnosed with a very aggressive and rare cancer. It's rhabdomyosarcoma, I believe that's how you say it, and very, very rare disease, and he's lost vision in both of his eyes recently, and he's only 20 years old? 19 years old. He played for Team Socceroo, actually played for Kaya B, did you say, Paul?
That's right.
And he plays for UP. He actually developed a bit of a buzz because of his scholarship from Masbate to UP, and unfortunately he's just come down with this cancer. So if you guys are football enthusiasts and want to help out, come in and play at the Emperador Stadium 4 to 6 on November 15. 250 pesos per head. It's for a very good cause. Definitely go out and support that cause at the Emperador Stadium on Sunday. All right, Roger Maglinas, hopefully he can have a speedy recovery. Difficult situation that he's in as of the moment. Let's move on with some of the news recently here in Philippine football. It's the rundown, folks. So can we throw that in there real quick? That man is so
The hair looks
talented.
like Neil Etheridge, but can't be. That's a striker.
By the way, let's start things off with the most important piece of news in Philippine football. Coach Hans was at UP recently, teaching kids about the importance of, the geographical...
Something to do with Joe. They're not kids in college.
College. Well, they're children, we're getting older. And then
Don't say that, we make us look old, man.
So something about how sports is affected by geography, is that correct?
Yes.
I hear there's a video of you doing this. Did they learn anything from you, or do you just...
Of course not.
I saw you sat down there, very authoritative looking. I couldn't be there because I had an event of my own that I was catering.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for leaving me alone again, huh?
Sorry, but you came there, and I heard that they enjoyed your presence over there. How was it?
Do they have a choice? That's good. It's fun. This is the first time I came back to UP campus after I don't know how many decades. Some things have changed for the better. The bathrooms are clean. They have water. During my time, it was full. Anyway, the thing there is, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I didn't know what it was all about, but it had something to do with sports in line with geography. I just had to wing it. I was not the only one there. My partner here was supposed to be there, but again, he flaked.
I was doing the research and stuff already because I felt like Coach Hans gonna come in there. He's gonna be the personality, and I have to come in there with a little bit of content. But
actually, they gave me too little time, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. It's too little. Anyway, I was not the only one. Dario, the two basketball players from UP, Dario and Manuel, who I found out is the son of my former batchmate also in college. So, you know, it's a small world. It was a lot of fun. I think that day the whole UP campus had this thing on the different student orgs. They had their own thing going on, and they no thanks to Ange who got me involved there and let me drive all the way to UP Diliman from Las Piñas. Short trip. Okay. But no, we had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much to the UP Junior Philippine Geographical Society.
ACLE.
Alternative classroom learning.
Yeah, the alternative classroom learning experience.
Oh,
that's what you were there for. But I appreciate it.
I can teach, boys.
It's good stuff. Are we showing that video real quick?
We are.
We'll just show a quick snippet of that because you know.
Please censor the
Just so impressive.
other words. I have a talk show of my own. It's a podcast. It's all about football. Mas gusto ko yung podcast kaysa sa network. Kasi sa podcast, pwede magmura. So meaning, I can be myself. If you want to do something, you need to be yourself. Why be somebody else?
Sabi niyo po ba na yung current national team ngayon sa football, is it the best that the Philippines has had?
In 36 years I've been in coaching, I have not seen any Philippine team with that much quality.
How cool was that? Over at UP, Coach Hans representing. Ange, of course, was there as well, documenting the experience. Always quality stuff from New Media Factory.
You know what surprised the UP students? That I came from UP.
Pwede ka pala doon?
But I didn't graduate. Football took me out and I had to drop out. You know? There were too many kids to take care of.
Fantastic stuff there. And okay, let's talk real quick here about obviously you were in Bacolod real quick for 2 weeks, was it?
Almost 3 weeks.
Almost 3 weeks, and your team actually won the Unigames crown. Your DLSU Lady Booters did well, winning 3-0 in that one. Congratulations. That's the 20th Philippine University Games at Panad Stadium. Anything else you want to comment on that, or is that just a full stop?
No, I just want, for the people watching from the different universities and colleges around the country, I mean, what I've noticed this last 2 years is the teams that are participating in the football event is diminishing, especially the girls. But there are a lot, and the sad state here that we have for Philippine football in terms of the schools. When I say schools, universities, college, high school, elementary, the problem is always the budget. They always talk about budget. But you know, I send this challenge to all the coaches. I mean, if I can do it for the last 36 years, you know, pakapala ng muka, hanap kayo ng sarili nyong sponsors. I mean, UP can go. We all know UP, University of the Philippines, they don't have that much budget, but they still are able to go almost every year. The men, no? And how else do we help develop the sport? I mean, that's why there's the university games. This is the chance of a lifetime to let the kids play against different types of football, different brands of football. I mean, not just all Manila. Like, we don't want to play all the same teams every year.
Right.
You know, I mean, the colleges here, the Ateneo, UST, FE, and all that. It's good to play against LaSalle, Bacolod, you know, teams from Cebu, teams from Davao, and all this, from Mindanao, whatever. Hopefully, they can get back the interest back to the university games. We've been going on for what, 17, 18 years? 16 to 18
It
years?
says 20 years actually.
20 years already?
Yeah, so
Oh, I mean, so
20th Philippine University Games. So
yes, saying the chance that, you know, the kids can go, you know, just put it into your budget. You know, when every year everybody has to send their budget, the coaches send their budgets, to include the university games.
congratulations nonetheless though on the victory, and it's probably a good time for us to be able to introduce the two individuals who are here with us today at the new Media Factory studio. We've got representatives of Kaya FC who recently won the UFL Cup final, which means they will be
Well, that I want to talk to the
qualifiers of the AFC Cup. And it is the first major trophy in the modern era of the United Football League. So that monkey has been taken off their back, and they are reaping the rewards as well next season. So let's introduce them formally here. Welcome to the show, Paul Tolentino and Chris Greatwich. Thanks for making time to be here this Thursday.
Paul here is, are you both, Justin and you, same tandem managers or?
Yeah, more or less.
More. More
just,
or less?
I would be the more.
Okay.
I'm full-time, whereas
Okay.
he's more,
So Paul here is the full-time manager, while his kuya Justin is the advisor to the brother. When he needs more allowance, he asks Paul. And here, Chris, congratulations on your new appointment.
Thank you.
Everybody knows who Chris Greatwich is. It had to take me to call one of the managers to have Chris come over because Chris has been dodging us for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now he has no choice because the manager says you gotta go, he's gotta go. So,
Pretty much, yeah. No choice in the matter.
but we're very happy to have you here. And I'm, for a player, young as it is, I'm happy at the same time, a little bit, hesitant to accept. Even it's not me, it's Chris. Chris can still play. My question here would be, leading to that, is: are you still going to play? You're going to be still playing coach, or are you going to concentrate full?
The official line is in case of emergency.
In case of emergency.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have that also in Gao.
Yeah.
In case of emergency, our assistant
it.
coach is also in case of emergency.
So hopefully not. Hopefully I'll be permanently on the sidelines and just working with the guys on the coaching side. If needs be, then I'll have to step into the breach. But hopefully the boys will do the job. So.
But a lot of people also know, Chris, that you're just not in the first division Kaya team. I think you are also a director of the Kaya Youth Academy.
That's correct.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Kaya Youth Academy.
Yeah.
All right. Meaning that Chris here takes care of the whole program, but he's hands-on.
Right.
He's not a director that just gives instructions and gives commands.
Yeah,
He's
it's
hands-on.
It's kind of a big endeavor as well. From what I understand, there's 4 locations for the KFC Academy with 800 students. Is this correct?
Yeah.
More or less?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
Yeah, and people are saying that it's seen to be a model for sustainable football growth in the Philippines, and to be that and the head coach of KFC, it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, since I've come here, I've had to juggle a lot of different things. When I first came, I had obviously the role as the academy director. Then I was playing. Then I was with the national team. Yeah. So that was obviously
He wears a lot of hats.
a lot of hats, a lot of different hats. But I somehow managed to do it, and now I have a young baby to manage also. So somehow I'll find time to do the whole lot.
Say what he mentioned. He needs the job.
Yeah, and my wife's
Milk is
very
expensive.
demanding. Exactly.
Yeah.
Milk, nappies, diapers, all that stuff.
Diapers.
It's so that's basically why I had to retire. I needed to try and make a little extra cash to pay for my baby's diapers and milk.
Well, awesome stuff. Obviously a lot of trust has been placed on your shoulders. When you guys won the UFL Cup final, you were already sort of in that role as coach and
interim playing coach.
Yeah,
Right? Is that the right term?
even in that particular spot, a lot of hats being worn. But Coach Hans, you had something that you wanted to get
First of all,
congratulations
to you guys for the cup.
Thank you.
But you got away with a technicality before the shootout. Was it a shootout?
It was a shootout.
It was a shootout.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm aged, memory, But Chris here got away. I'm not saying was castigating him or whatever. It's all of jest.
Yeah.
You got away with it because when you got a red card, you were supposed to be up in the stands, but you were still down there. No, you got it. No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. The reason why I'm bringing it out is for the officials.
Okay.
For the officials.
Well, if you're going to go down that route, how about the officials get the call right in the first place, and then I wouldn't have had to be in the stands. So, if you want to go down that route, maybe they don't send me off, and then I can see out the game. But the team did better without me anyway. So maybe, so maybe it was a good thing. And then I just happened to casually walk over to get a drink every now and again and call some instructions. So if no one's going to stop me, then it's not my fault.
I would do the same. As a coach, I would do the same. The thing there was, because there were people beside me, they were saying, Coach, if you were whoever the match commissioner was there that day, but they were saying, Coach, if you were the match com, do you think that would happen? I said, no freaking way. No, I would, if for example, not just Chris, I'm just saying, it's a lesson again to the viewers. You know, if you're a playing coach, but you got a carded you get carded as a player, you're not supposed to be there, so you should be out. That's the officials' business actually. Yep. Nothing to do with the coaching staff or the club of the team. They got away with it, that's fine. But the officials of the UFL, I think, should be a little bit more stricter if we want to be a little bit more professional. Don't get me wrong, Chris. I'm not.
No, you got to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
The rules need to be enforced.
No,
I think it's a discussion we have a lot.
We also have the time. Every time we have meetings, technical meetings, we have things like this. Even if you know, I'm friends with everybody, but you know, remember when I was the match com for the Smart Club when this Spanish player during the ID check. I don't know if you knew about that. I put down my official papers and came out with my beautiful vocabulary, and you don't fool around. I'm official now. Don't treat me like shit. You know, you can do that in Europe. If you think you can do, no, you can't do that in Europe. Just because they think they're in the Philippines, anything you can just go snap, snap. We're not that stupid. Right. We're all AFC and FIFA accredited. So the thing there I'm saying, let's go back to the topic here, is that I hope some people from the UFL are watching. Let's be stricter, because every time we have our meetings, like Jesus said, Paul, we always have discussions on this. Everybody, all the management, the coaches, technical directors, always wanted something. If it's against our team, against Kaya, against whoever, accept, as long as the rules are to be followed. That's why there are rules.
I don't even think it's about being stricter. I think it's just being consistent.
Consistent, exactly.
I mean, apply the rules that are there and be consistent with it. And, you know, everyone will respect that. Because
you know, actually, when during the finals, I was smiling. That you guys got away with it. And I was at the same time, one time I'll be smiling, one time I'll be pissed off. I didn't want to take anything away from Kaya, from what Chris did, a short span of time that he had the team with. You know, I mean, it's a shame though that everything's moving up, progressing rapidly actually in football here in the Philippines, except of course we all know the number one problem, officiating. The Greatwich brothers would know that very well. And I think it's the first time in the football history in the Philippines that both same day, same evening, got same things. That just shows you the brotherly love that they have. Who came first? Who came first in this world? Was it you or Simon?
I'm the oldest one.
You're the older one?
Yeah, I'm the oldest one, yeah.
But the younger one got it first.
Yeah, Simon got sent off.
And Chris, the big brother that he is,
just had his back, I think.
You have to stay with the family tradition.
Not too many people get sent off in a third place match, but Simon managed that.
Only my brother could do that.
Not too many coaches get promoted into that position and win a trophy immediately in that time.
Yeah.
Now a lot of talk has been happening prior to that decision of the departure of Fabian Lewis, but a lot of people knew that the long-term replacement was going to be Chris Greatwich. Was it always the plan to implement this soon?
Yeah, how did you guys get to it after the cup?
Well, let's be honest. Even before this cup, Chris had stepped in a few times in an interim role. Okay. When certain coaches had left prior to the planned departure. So we had seen what Chris could do, and we always knew long term we wanted Chris in the role. He got pushed in the role a little earlier than I think even he expected. Yeah. But it's a role he embraced, and he wanted the challenge. We discussed it a lot, and we felt the one thing Kaya has been missing the past few years is really stability in that coaching role for varying reasons.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah,
You know,
we're very interested
you know
to
very
find
well.
out.
Tell me about it. Who's been the longest Kaya coach? 2 years and a half?
Yeah, I think I've heard this in one of your shows before too.
Yeah. 2 years and a half.
Yeah.
A lot more than the. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, but I mean, we're not naive to it. It's an issue we've tried to solve for
Actually,
varying
it's not
reasons.
just Kaya's problem. Actually, it's. I think every club has that problem. They have a problem. I mean, you can have coaches like Coach Lee and Simon there with Loyola and Global. What, over a year and all that, but still there are still. We're still at growing pains.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the semi-pro, pro league that we have.
Although,
Yeah.
We're still in the growing pains, and Kaya is not exempt from any of the problems that every other club has. So
but there's certainly been a lot of chopping and changing in that coaching role.
A little
Especially
bit. Yeah,
for-
I mean, we have to own up to
Fabian was
that.
also a player, right? Wasn't he a player?
He was an ex-player.
Yeah.
I mean, to clarify, I think I've clarified this with other journalists or questions that were asked. We always knew Fabian was going to leave in
Okay.
August, and he knew that coming in as well
Okay.
because he had a job
All right,
in
waiting.
BC.
Yeah.
But we just felt that we still had a little less than half of the season to go, and then the cup run to go, and we were short on the roster, and the transfer window had passed, so we couldn't pull Chris entirely off of the roster at that point
Yeah.
to just do full-time coaching because we just didn't have enough players.
Right.
So, we came to a consensus and we mulled it over and felt that Fabian, being a former player of the club, at least knew the culture of the club, and hopefully the transition would be less steep or less painful for him because he knows the Philippines, he knows the UFL, he knows Kaya. He still played with some of the players that were on the roster. So, it kind of made sense. Now, as we all know, sometimes the UFL schedule extends itself.
Yep.
So his original appointment, which was agreed upon with his previous employers, would actually have seen him make it up until the end of the final. But the final was moved 2 weeks
Moved
later
again,
than
yeah.
Right.
originally planned. And at that point, it was no longer an option for him to stay.
And Chris, you had what, say 2 weeks? 2 weeks prior to the finals, right? Roughly about 2 weeks. Okay. Did you just continue what Fabian, or did you make changes? What changes did you make? Any major?
I mean, some of them were enforced. Like we had he was in charge for the first round of the knockout stage, which was the Nomads game, and we won that comfortably. I think it was 10.
Something, yes.
10-1 something.
Yeah.
And then going into the JPV game, we made a couple of changes, but it wasn't anything too drastic.
Okay.
And then going into the Stallions game, we had some injuries and some suspensions, and then the same even for the final. So Freddie got sent off. Yeah. Miguel was injured. We basically put out the same lineup for the semis to the final, barring those two, and we put in whoever was available pretty much. I mean, even in the final, we played Louis, and Louis had been out injured pretty much the entire, and he only came on to take the penalty in the semis.
Yeah, what, 3-4 games you guys used Louis' pairing?
Yeah, and it was basically just a case of him giving us 20 minutes because that's all he could give. Christian had been out injured that whole time. Diego had been out injured the whole pretty much the second half of the season. So it was really tough for in terms of selection to kind of get it right. But in a sense, it was also easy because I just picked whoever was available, and everyone knew their job and everyone knew what they had to do. It was quite a simple game plan, and they were able to execute it. In terms of what Fabian had done, I mean, the boys have worked with me before, so it wasn't a case of them having to adjust to anything new. They've known how I'd like to operate. They know how I like to run my sessions and how I like them to play. So maybe I had some new ideas or different ideas, but it wasn't anything too drastic because a lot of the guys had already worked with me before.
Yeah. You know, Paul, I have an idea what you can do. You can put Chris's jersey now different. Chris Jaworski, Greatwich.
Oh, God.
You heard of Jaworski? See, since Kaya is the Ginebra in football, right? Perfect. Chris Jaworski, great. But your jersey will
around all the way to the side.
Your jersey
Medyo mahaba.
It's hard to put the letters in, yeah. It's going to be tough.
Are we expecting any, like, stylistically, is there going to be a change to Kaya in terms of the philosophy in which you guys play? Are we expecting anything different next season now that Chris Greatwich is in charge?
Don't worry, nobody's watching from the UFL anyway, so...
That's it, that's true. No one watches the show anyway.
Nobody watches the show.
I don't know how we've done this for 4 seasons.
Oh no, we're just doing this for fun.
Yeah, that's it. We'll only watch it. I think Kai has always been known for playing an exciting brand of football. I mean, whenever we have games with the Loyolas and the Severs and even the Stallions games, global games, they always seem to be pretty exciting affairs. So I don't think that's going to change. I mean, as a player, I was quite attack-minded, so I think as a team, we'll play in the same kind of vein. Without giving too much away, I mean, I think the team will embody what the coach is as a player, as a person. So I guess I'm hoping that our team will be quite exciting in an attacking sense, but also with a solid defensive base. So
You have any wish list for players? I mean, you don't have to mention anything, but many positions. You just say play safe, just play positions.
Yeah.
I heard that
Drogba's available, right? Drogba's available.
Who?
Drogba.
Drogba.
You said
Drogba is available. If you guys can handle his salaries.
Yeah.
No, we're just joking. You might believe me. Spelled differently. Rumble nyo na lang. Sounds like.
Yeah.
This is actually a question from Leo Salayo, who we were going to save it for the 12th man, but he had sent in and said, to Coach Chris, one UFL player you want to put on your Kaya FC lineup. Anyone.
Just one. Wish list.
You had a dream.
What do you mean, from the UFL or in general?
From the UFL.
Forget the Europeans and here.
One UFL player.
UFL.
You would want.
Regardless of where he's playing.
Yeah. It's
A
gonna
player
pop
that you think is
the
your
Ultras trying to get some info.
Yeah.
ultimate player that you would want in the Kaya lineup.
Everybody else would say Louis Clark. Like if we ask this question, anybody else?
Anybody, that's,
They can have Louis. They can have Louis. That's a tough one. You should have prepped me before I come in. I couldn't take any of my national team teammates. I don't think.
Alright.
I couldn't take them because too close. Like Phil's lazy, isn't he? And James would be a headache. So I couldn't take either of them.
Will he? That's new.
Yeah, no prima donnas and Kaya, so we can't have those two. I don't know. You know what? Maybe Patrick Reichelt, because he's quite good at table tennis.
Is that right?
Yeah, and we used to play ping pong a lot, and on the national team.
Yeah.
And I'm always known for being the best ping pong player. And Patrick thinks he's good. So, but he lost to my brother, and so he never got to play me. But since I'm not there anymore, he's sort of taken over as the top dog. So maybe if we brought him in, maybe I could play against him on a regular basis and give him a good hiding.
He's dodging a fucking question.
I like it though.
So him, yeah, I'll bring in Pat.
For personal reasons.
Yes, just because I want to play ping pong.
For recreational reasons.
Nothing for the mainstream.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll accept.
Okay.
I'll accept your answer.
Nice sidestep there.
Yes.
Leo was asking Paul if there's going to be new kits and signings. Still asking around.
Definitely
for signings.
some signings. Always looking to reinforce the squad.
Yeah.
There's naturally some changes. We had too many foreigners last year.
Right.
More than we would have liked, but we're again forced into that role with injuries and departures. Unplanned.
Any major injuries to any of the players that could sideline them or him for a full season or
Right
even
now?
contract? Yeah.
Or last year?
Yeah.
Oh, right now?
Right now, yes. For the coming season.
Right.
Anybody in
I don't want to
in
jinx
trouble?
it, but right now, not yet.
None.
Nothing yet.
Not yet. Don't say not yet.
Not yet, man. Just
Yeah.
not at the, yeah, not.
Nothing at the moment. Other than actually one of our youth players who was in our youth squad, Nino Herrera, basically, I think.
Okay. You know the just for the UFL fans and Philippine football fans, look it up now for the next season because it's going to be interesting. There will be definitely some changes to most of the major teams.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say changes. I don't want to say changes. I'd say additions. Forget the omissions. Let's talk about additions. Of course, every team would want to beef up their roster, and a lot of them will be, of course, there'll be players moving. It's a rigodon after every season anyway. So. Just like when I look, I'm not too much into basketball, but when I like watching the PBA on the first year because of the rookies. Rookies, of course, rookies who come from LaSalle, from Ateneo, UST, and the following. Because I want to see these young players, how they deal with it. You know, like what's this guy from Alaska? Is such the monster. What's his name?
Calvin Abueva.
Abueva. You know, nobody would think that he would come out like this on his sophomore year. He made a big impact with the Gilas team.
Yeah.
He's not a tall dude, but you know, he's a monster inside the game. So this, you know, since now you turn into football, UFL, you look at some players, you know, for sure you fans will say, oh, he's already pala with Kaya. Oh, he's already with Loyola. Oh, he's already with Archers. And so, things like that. What's interesting here, folks, is what you watch is how are the teams, are they going to be playing the same way? We know now that Chris here just said Kaya has been known to play entertaining football, you know. For sure they'll be playing the same way. But for sure, with other additions to their lineup, to the roster, there'll be other players that will show different type of football. And it goes the same with most of the top teams. I don't know what happened to the other teams, but for sure, even the second division teams, I think they have, you know, new signings because everybody wants to be more competitive now. So,
I think
which is only good for us.
I think a large part of that was people realized that Ceres took it up a notch last season. Obviously, you guys beat Ceres in the UFL Cup final, but is it safe to say that that's still sort of the standard where everybody's looking to push towards? I mean, they really increased sort of the level of play in the first division last season.
Yeah, what is your objective this coming season? What are you really after? I mean, obviously everybody wants to get to the finals to be the champions, but the cup is different from the league, so you know that's a different thing. In football, same thing, but cup is different from the league. That's why there's a league, there's a cup. What is your objective for Kaya?
I'll let Chris answer first.
Well,
Yeah, let him get.
I think
He's
It's
just
much
taking
more-
the job.
Yeah,
I want to know what he's
Okay.
going after.
I mean, yeah. I think I said in the press release when I was interviewed for the website, I said I think Kaya as a club has been dormant for a number of years.
Yeah.
You know, and
Dormant with the talent that you guys have.
exactly.
Yes.
I think we've always underachieved. You know,
Yes.
since I came in 2013, and I look at the players who've been at the club, I mean we've massively underachieved, and I think you know hopefully the cup win is the start of something new and shows that if we're set up in the right way, that you know we can be a dominant force in this league, and I think. You know, whether you're going to, and it showed, you know, there's been 3 different league winners in the past 3 years. You know, Stallions when I first came, then Global, then Ceres. So it's hard for one team to go out there and just dominate. So despite Ceres obviously on paper having a fantastic squad and a lot of depth, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be dominant for the years to come. Because people were saying that about Global my first year. And what a great team, and in the end they fell short of Stallions. And then the following year they won it, and they won it by quite a wide margin. Then you think, okay, that's going to be their time. And then Ceres came in. So. I think, as you said, every year each team's up in the ante and trying to improve their squad. And you know, until the season kicks off, I think no one really knows. But for us, you know, I think we have to be challenging for trophies on all fronts all the time.
You know, just to let's say reiterate what Chris just said. Look at Real Madrid in what year was that? They had Ronaldo, not Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo,
The first
Ronaldo,
Ronaldo,
the Brazilian.
They had Figo, they had Beckham,
Zidane.
they had Zidane, they had
Roberto Carlos.
Roberto Carlos.
Raul.
Yeah.
They didn't win it. Raul.
Yes.
Look at that. The coach just sits down and you know, pick your position.
That's not football, right? As we all know.
They didn't win, right? Until after they dropped some of these superstars.
Yeah.
Because, of course, you know, it's a mental thing actually, it's more of attitude. Because even Barca had once, I remember the lineup, Barcelona had the lineup that was, you know, it's just like a World Cup team already. But still, again, they lost to Real.
Right.
Well, Real lost to Barcelona when Real had that lineup. But when they let go of some of other players, the hard work, to say, you know, it's hard work, sacrifice. Lesser known players would always want to outshine their more reputable teammates. Because, like I always say to my players, you know, just because you're in scrimmage or in friendlies or what have you, you're all starting. doesn't mean that you're going to be starting every time, and you might not even make the lineup at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because I will say, this is for the young players who are watching. Are we MTRCB? No, we're not age group. Most of the kids are watching. To the kids, the younger players, always remember that it was a slot for you. Forget about who plays in your position. Let's say he's older, he's better. Don't think about that. If you think about that, then you're a loser. All you need to do is just, even in the UFL, even in the Premier League, even in the Serie A and the best leagues in the world, everybody's got, why do you think there's so much hula-baloo of certain signings, but the first game they don't even play? Second game they don't even play. They get to play in the third game, they play what? Sparingly, last 30, 25, 20 minutes. Why? Why is this? You think right away that there's a new signing, automatic, bang, champion. But this guy is great.
Right.
Drogba became Drogba when he went to Chelsea.
Still talking.
Am I right?
About, yeah.
Nobody ever heard of Drogba. Didn't even know he played for
Marseille.
No, the country for that is
Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast. Nobody even knew that. They only found out that he played for Ivory Coast after he played for Chelsea, and he played for Ivory Coast in the World Cup.
Right.
So, you young players, don't ever think that way. That's the losing attitude that you have. Because everybody has got to fight for his slot in the first 11. If you're just satisfied to be in the lineup, because I got my uniform, I got my, wrong. Because you'll end up sitting in the bench all the whole time.
And I think that's going to be a large question for next season is if the hunger is going to be there for Ceres after what seemed like they walked through the first division when they won by such a wide margin.
They walked to the second division first.
Yeah.
And when they got to the first division, they still walked it through.
Yeah, that's right. And I think with the win in the UFL Cup final, sort of people now see that, you can stand toe-to-toe with them at some from time to time, and you can get the better of them. So it'll be interesting to see what approach people take against Ceres next season. And Coach Hans was mentioning earlier on about promising youngsters that perhaps next season will get a platform to shine. Do you guys have any regardless of what team it may be, just youngsters out there that you feel are primed for a big season next season?
I mean, prime for a big season is tough to gauge. There's definitely youngsters that Chris and I have been planning that, our whole focus is obviously on development, and that's why we have the youth academy and being able, obviously that's still a few years away, but we're always looking for younger Filipinos who are ready and hungry to come in. And Coach Hans kind of alluded to it as well, is we look for those players that have that attitude of, I want to play against that guy because he's the best right now.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds of kids you want to find, because those are the guys that are not afraid. They're just going to go out there and battle. That's from my point of view. Obviously, Chris might have a more technical aspect as to what he's looking for from that kid. But, a lot of the time is just what is it inside of them that's already there or is not there that kind of determines, is this kid going to make it or going to fall short, But we try to provide the right environment for all of these ones with potential to come through to be successful.
What I've noticed, even before the cup ended, I saw some managers moving around and they were talking to young players. I was, of course, kidding people. I was kidding the managers. Oh, what's this? Season's not over yet, already talking. Bawal. You know what I'm saying? And I was correct. There were new signings with these kids that they were told. But that's good. That's good because, if we don't have a good youth program, regardless of if it's Kaya, Archers, Loyola, whatever, if we don't have a good program, where do kids end up?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, now that there's a UFL, I think we discussed this maybe in the first season, wherein, before college kids, you know that after the NCAA, after the AP,
So
where do you go?
It was over. You
Where?
went to work.
Couch.
There's nothing else. Yeah, nothing else. But now there's something else that they look forward to. They go to the UFL, and after the UFL, there's the ASCALs. Yeah. Like some of the kids that we have now in the UFL are members of the under 21, under 23, and you can see the performance is better because the thing that we lacked, that everybody knows, because even before you came over,
competitive matches.
There's not a single, in a year, how many games do you play? Not even 20.
Yeah.
And you expect these kids to perform internationally while these players internationally play what?
Year round.
10 months, 11 months of a year. Well,
I
there's
mean,
no way. But
we've
now
been
we're
through
doing
it, right, Coach? I mean, in terms of, it doesn't matter if you get the best players from the country. If there's no competitive league, you put them in a camp for 3 months. After a while, even the quality is going to go down because they're tired of playing each other. Right. They're tired of playing the same schools and the same teams.
Exactly. Remember, Paul, we went to Europe together and all that. Together, I was...
romantically,
I
or
was sure.
Was that just the two of you? Or how did that work out?
No, it's not a honeymoon. That came after.
okay,
No, but
sounded a bit strange.
the kids... Shut up, Chris. The kids... We were competitive.
Yeah.
Up to a certain point.
Yeah.
The Filipino youth were competitive. I mean, we won the Gotha Cup. Gotha Cup is known as the unofficial World Cup for the youth. The Philippines has won that. We've won quite a few internationals also. I mean, playing against real established clubs from England, from Italy, from the Filipinos have won it. Of course, we not pure Filipino. There are some. I'm not saying pure, not feel foreigners. I'm not talking about that anymore. I'm talking about some foreign kids that are from here who studied in the Philippines and they helped out. Imagine that the youth here we can win in Europe. Imagine if we had a program that everybody, instead of, who's gonna fucking hire piss? You know what I'm saying? Patasan ng ihi.
Oh, okay. Got confused there for a second.
Sorry, that's how to pronounce it. To translate. Patasan ng ihi. Ano bang ihi? Okay, so, lakas kong ihi, no?
Pissing contest.
Anyway, what I'm saying, look, imagine, once everything is established in the whole Philippines, everybody's got their own program, fine. But there should be one, remember there was a question to General Secretary Ed Castanes. I think it was by Ivan. Asked what is the
goal, the
goal of the PFF with regard to the youth program. Because without the youth program, we don't have fucking seniors.
Right.
I mean...
Simple.
What was the answer?
None. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of programs that are being done as of the moment.
But is there? Oh, we're going into a different sort of topic that's close to my heart.
According to Secretary Ed Castanes, yes, there is efforts being done, and it's being done all across the Philippines, and it's enough to win awards from AFC.
Yeah.
And all
Okay, well, I understand that we can always be creative with numbers and suggest that more kids are coming through or participating in these projects and so on and so forth, which is fine. Yeah. And for all the awards that you can win based on, I don't know what criteria they're giving to give these awards away, that's great too. But essentially the proof is going to be in the pudding, and that's going to be how well are we performing on an international stage with our national teams. Yeah. I'm looking at, there's a list down there for the viewers with the squad for the national team, and I can see one homegrown local player, 2 Dato.
Yeah.
Right. So there's two from that list.
Aguinaldo and Dato.
From that current squad. Yeah. Also then you've got the likes of Kenshiro and OJ who've been there for a little. They've been in the Philippines for a while, sort of since their teens, and Sato's a young, but they've had their grounding elsewhere, which I think. But I think that is a shame because and you're very involved with youth football, as am I, and I think there are a lot of really, really talented footballers, and that's just in this region that I've observed. I mean, we've been lucky enough to sort of go to other places within the Philippines, and I know that football is strong in all other parts. And I think if it was harnessed in the correct way with a real bona fide plan, and it was geared up for sustainable growth, and I talked about that within our own academy. But I think if that was done on a larger scale across the nation, then there's no reason why we can't be the most dominant force in Southeast Asia, for sure, 100%.
Yes.
But that comes down to obviously the other things, and that's investment in coaches and investment in more facilities. But the talent pool is there. It's just waiting to be nurtured, really. And I think that's something that needs to be addressed because, for all like you said, if people are winning awards for it, great, that's fantastic. But really, we need to be seeing more players coming through, more players given more opportunities to play at home.
I was a witness last summer in the Palarong Pambansa. If you heard of the Palarong Pambansa, it's a national youth games. Yeah. Okay, you go through stages. Okay. You go to unit meet, then district, then division, or division, district, and then regional, and then you go to the nationals. I witnessed it last summer because the 12 under team from Manila was Sobel. Of course, we took in the best kids that we saw that played against us while here. And we did I don't think we even gave one goal up. We've got so many talented kids at 12 years old. They're talented, tall, big, talented kids. And I'm not only talking about the NCR team, but I saw kids from General Santos. Okay, from even from the north side, 12-year-olds. I mean, it's so different from decades ago when I was still active there. Here I was watching. I had no plans of recruiting for my La Salle Sobel, but I saw some talent. I said, this kid will not go anywhere if he stays in the province. So I need to bring him in here and give him the chance for better education, not insulting the provincial education system, but what I'm saying is give them, because what we're doing now with Alvin Ocampo, I put him as the program head in La Salle Green Hills. So he's following my program. So we're two La Salles that are following one program. And we're doing this to go to La Salle Bacolod to follow the same program. Of course, eventually I'm the winner here because all these kids will go to my university team if I'm still alive and if I still have the same job 4 years after. But the thing there is, the kids, I was so amused while watching these kids with the freaking lousy fields that they play on. Only the cows and carabaos can really play well there. You know what I'm saying? But the talent that these kids have, without even the coaches telling them anything, they know how to lift the ball, the volleys and all this. And I'm talking about 12 and 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
And the one that was very striking was the enthusiasm that these kids had, the attitude that they had.
Yeah.
You didn't see like your time when the kids, when they get scored first half 4-0, 5-0, you see them head down, no more play. So it becomes double the score. This one now,
Coach, but is there as many tournaments for the youth developing across? Because I go back to when I was playing, and one of my favorite tournaments was Coco for Gold.
Yeah.
That was a great tournament because all the provinces were involved, and then there was a regional final, and then there was the national final. And there was actually a tournament like that even for under 14. That was under 16.
Yes.
And, that was like a proving ground. Everybody showed up there trying to one-up one another.
There are a lot of players in the ASCALs, previous ASCALs, I think even not now, not too much. But that have come from the Coco for Gold system program.
I have a question. So is there a lack of competitions? Obviously, you guys are saying there's an increase in talented young players, right? Yeah. So maybe watching the ASCALs play and the quality of football being watched, that's increased.
And we have more quality coaches also now.
Then that's my next question, because that's one of the issues that Ed Gastanes was talking about, was the extreme lack of coaching that we have, coaching personnel that we have in our country as compared to a place like Japan, where they have thousands and thousands of coaches and we only have a few hundred. When you're talking about sustainable development or progress in terms of developing the youth, how do you go about that with the current situation that we're in now?
There was a big uproar in the UK about a year or two ago. And they were saying that the amount of A-licensed coaches they have in the UK versus the amount in Germany and the amount in Spain, and it was ridiculous. It was something like 10 times the amount. It was something obscure.
10 times more in Britain?
No, in Germany and Spain. I forget the exact numbers, but it was a significant amount. I might be a bit of hyperbole there, but I think that was generally, the consensus was there was not enough compared.
The one in Spain, Germany had millions coaches.
Really?
Yes, into the million, not hundred thousands.
Way.
Yes.
I think for me, I think it's not about necessarily having a bunch of A-licensed or super high-level coaches. It's not about that. It's can the PFF or any governing body administer your basic coaching licenses? Like in the US we had the D's and the E licenses, or in the UK you have your very recreational coaching licenses, which enables a parent or someone to go and attend a short course, and they'll learn the fundamentals or the basics of teaching the game. Because even ex-players, they'll go in and they'll try to coach, but they might not be necessarily the best with kids or the best at organising a session, for example. Right. But they have the knowledge, but they won't be able to articulate or bring it out in the correct way, which hopefully a coaching course will enable them to do that. Right. And I think that's really the key. If we can get more, even just entry-level parents or football enthusiasts or ex-players or whatever, even current players for that matter, just getting on a basic course where they could get some good education and then be able to pass on their knowledge. But in a very simple way.
You know what, Chris? I've been saying this for so many years. I never said it on this show, but I'll say it now. Not to insult anybody, but because I was one of those coaches decades ago that was sent by the federation to attend courses, FIFA coaching courses, and I think I'm the only one who's been under 4 World Cup coaches through the years. And I think I'm the only coach that came back here and made a report to the PFF. I mean, don't deny this. You coaches, yes, I'm talking to you guys who are licensed. I'm looking straight at you now. I never look at the camera, I'm looking straight at you now. The thing there is, because that's what I learned in my first few courses that I attended, that when we come back to our country, we're supposed to report and spread the wealth, spread the news, spread the new techniques and everything. I think I'm the only one who made those reports. The other coaches, what happens? If which is where we know we're old school based, it's just now, recently, a few years that we have the UFL. Coaches are from schools, whether it's elementary, high school, college, whatever. The PFL doesn't know shit. They don't know, there's no report that goes their way. So, who gets it? The team that this coach is, that school. That's it. They don't report, they don't go out. I mean, that's being, that's fucking selfish. You're being sent by the federation. That's why it's called the Philippine Football Federation. It is not the Metro Manila or the Davao football, whatever. You're sent by the Philippine Federation. That means you're representing the country. And by the way, I'm not even Filipino yet. And I'm the one freaking reported to the Philippine Football Federation.
Yet.
The others are, I can see this. Don't freaking deny this. If anybody denies this, you can call now, call my number now, tweet it, the question, what have you, Facebook it. I'll wait for your answer, I'll wait for your comments now. If you're watching it live. If you're not watching it live, you know my number, you know to get in touch with me. Come up in my face and tell me so.
I'm interested to find out when you reported it to the Football Federation.
That's really what's happened.
So that's the thing, right?
Shelled.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think that's what the issue is with a lot of these players and coaches who
That's
go
the answer
abroad
to Chris, what Chris was saying earlier. We do have that. We have those chances like the other countries. We are giving those chances. Because I think it started in the mid-80s, early 90s, wherein FIFA gave a lot more of
subsidies,
responsibility to Asia.
Yeah.
That's why they added more slots in the World Cup for the Asian, right? For the Asian region, right? We are given that. It's just that we are, what's the difference with the government now? What's happening? You have positions, but you fucking screw up your position, you don't do your job, just get your salary. That's what's happening. I'm not afraid to say that now. I'm not saying this about the PFF now, because I believe in the president now. Not because he's my friend, not because he was my teammate before, but I came back to Philippine Football Federation when Nonong stepped in, when he was appointed as the president, because I believe in him. I believe in Mr. Araneta, what he wants to do. Because number one, he doesn't have to steal money. Oh, sorry. But the thing there is, programs are made to be used properly, not for just individual development. Again, you are sent by the Philippine Football Federation. Okay? You're sent on your own, by yourself, you pay yourself, fine.
Right.
By all means, use it for what team you have, what you're holding. But if you're sent, make the freaking report. And then maybe also PFF, whoever's in charge. Aris, that's a shout out to you, the technical director.
Yeah.
You need to come out.
Is there somebody in charge of youth now, developing in the PFF? Would you guys be familiar with anything like that? Because there
supposedly
used to be Thomas Roy, a friend of ours.
But he left already.
Yeah, he came over to the show and he told us about how a Herculean task it's going to be able to create the proper platform for the Philippines. He said the infrastructure isn't there yet, and he was supposed to be the person in charge of directing us in that and onto that path. Right now, after his removal, I don't know if there's anybody else who's.
I honestly don't know.
I remember my brother went to watch one of the supposed ID camps that he had set up, and I agree it's a difficult task and it is a monumental task, but it's also a great opportunity for someone to really stamp their authority on that with that particular role. you know, and I think that was an opportunity missed by him. You know, if I'm being honest, I don't, you know, I think my brother went and witnessed, and I think even just how they went about trying to acquire the talent, it was a post on a Facebook site or something where anyone could kind of show up, you know, and you know, my brother was saying that there were guys from his academy he wouldn't even get into their elite program who were there showing up for, you know, a regional pool of talent, and you know, to make up a regional squad, and that's not the best way to go about trying to acquire the best talent in the region. I mean, you're going to have to speak to people who know about the game, people who are running academies. You know, you need to try and pull the best players from the region, and that's how you find your best players. It's not a case of just putting a post on Facebook and expecting people to come and show up. That's not how it is. You're going to have to be very active and proactive about it.
You know what we lack? Just like in the governments, what they love to say is political will. You just need somebody who's got the freaking balls to you're given the program. What's so hard? You're a student, teacher gives you this. All you do is just follow. You learn. So if you're in a program, if you're in the federation, for example, and somebody gives me like FIFA or AFC gives me this is how it's supposed to be done, give me the freaking budget, I'll do it. You cannot do it, I'll replace you. Screw you. All you're gonna get is money? No fucking way. You need to follow this program. I give you this program. Second, that person who's in charge should go around.
Yeah, and that's
he or she should be willing, because you're getting, if it's a full-time job, knock PFF, malapit na mag-retire. And I know, you know, and the balls. Anyway, what I'm saying is, full-time job, you need to know how to get around. Because look at
They're
the
not
other.
gonna come to you. The people from Davao and Bukidnon and
Look at these guys who came over. Thomas Roy, even Thomas Dooley, even who else? The other foreigners who came in before, like way back.
Fraser.
No.
The Japanese coach?
No. Way back when you were still in high school or grade school.
So I was.
Anyway, no, these guys, you know, when I attended one of the best youth academy, FIFA, the certificate, that's the only certificate I framed up in transfer houses. I lost it, but that's one I'm most proud of. Is under Detmar Kramer. Excuse me. Detmar Kramer made Beckenbauer. He made Rummenigge. Okay? I will never forget this old guy. He was 64, I think, when he came over, and he still beat us all in abdominals and all that shit. Okay? He eats only fruits, but he's one of the most respected coaches, not only in Germany, but in the world. Okay? He was telling me, because I have quite a number of chats with him in between, breaks in between, 3 sessions a day, man. Morning, afternoon, evening. Okay? For how many weeks? And, you know, while we're eating breakfast, you see him already walking to Rizal. Oh, frick. You know, but he was telling me that he wanted to retire already. He says, Hans, I'm 64 or 62, something like that. He's got atrophy already. But FIFA will not allow him to retire. You know, I remember Chris Montfort had some sort of an almanac.
Yeah.
And you could see a picture when he was coach of one of the top teams in Germany. After they won the German league or the UEFA, I don't know, in the balcony, and he's just there quiet. Short guy, man. Short guy, but when people see him, everybody just bows to him. He's just like this quiet guy. I remember what he was telling me, you know? He was telling me his next door neighbor in the Alps is Franz Beckenbauer, you know that. And what's most I feel so proud of is, among all the participants in the Philippines, he only gave me his address. And saying, Hans, if you ever get there, give me a call, this is my address, come see me.
Right.
And, hindi sa nagyayabang. During the graduation, giving out the certificates, people were wondering, because the others, they thank you, out. Next guy, thank you, out. Came to me, talked to me about 2 minutes on stage, saying thank you to me that I was part of that class. Why? Because I didn't make it boring. Because you know, I kept on hitting and hit. Of course, you know my mouth. You know, I would always, but I was one of the students who puked during one morning session because the night we were drinking in the hotel. What? And that was just ball fielding. Imagine. Anyway, you know, the thing there is, people, like I said, political will. I'm telling you, I'm saying it now. If I retire from coaching and Nonong is still the president, I'm gonna make myself really fucking thick face and go to him. If there's nobody yet there's gonna handle the youth program, I am willing to go and sit down there as a full timer. I love to travel anyway. I love meeting new people. I love kids. I like to stay there. I will do it. Give me the freaking program. I'll make sure. This is the thing there in the PFF. There are people with different responsibilities. Do your freaking jobs.
I was gonna ask for a recommendation as to who you guys think would be your personality to fit that role. Coach,
I think it's got to be like a sort of mild-mannered, quite quiet guy.
Me, no?
Good language.
Right.
Doesn't swear too much.
No, I mean,
volunteer.
Like if you were to ask that question seriously, and it's not just because Coach Hans is sitting in front of me, but you really need someone that's committed, willing to sacrifice and do the job, and loves to do the job.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna find someone that is gonna want to travel as much as that travel is required to really look through all these little towns down south in Mindanao or up north in Luzon, or I mean,
don't put any tip for all those people who think they know everything. I'm not saying I know it. Tip for people at these jobs, look at the age, not just the experience. Look at the age. I'm a family man, but my kids are all grown up. They only have their lives. I have my time.
Yeah.
My wife will be happy that I'm gone. My wife will be happy that she's alone.
Thank goodness.
She doesn't have to see me anymore. So, but joking aside, actually it's true. No, but thinking that to get people who are willing, that they have no, how do you say,
attachments
that you need to be around.
Right.
Yeah.
So people are willing to go out. It's not even a sacrificing. To me, I don't call it sacrifice.
Exactly.
It's the passion. You need people who have the passion there to stay and work. I wasn't surprised when I heard the announcement of Chris being not anymore the interim coach, but the official coach. Because I've seen Chris, I've seen him with the youth academy, and I've seen him work with the kids. Sometimes he's even earlier than me, and usually I'm the earliest.
Right.
But don't do that again, huh? You're making me look bad.
Sorry.
But I see him there. I mean, he was there early, and he got into it right away. He came up to me, what do I do? What do I have to do? What do I? Think questions right away. We need more people like that that have the time to do this.
That's something that it's funny that you brought it in that direction, because I wanted to ask you, in terms of passionate people in the game, you're very passionate on the field, and it seems as if that's something that you could still very well be doing for a couple more years.
Yeah.
How difficult of a decision was that to give up playing? I mean, not entirely. Obviously, in emergency situations, you take off the tracksuit and play, but it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, when I met with Coach Dooley earlier on in the year, I explained to him that I had a lot of obligations at home, and being away from home for long periods of time was going to be difficult. And I want to spend time at home with my family, especially having a young baby. So, when I explained that to him, I think that was the large part of me for making that decision was based on that. But the other part of me is I don't want to see my performances decline. Like I feel as though, 2010 to probably a couple years before that, 2008 to 2012, I think I was a good national team player. But sort of the back end of 2012, after the so 2013 I actually had quite a good season with under Coach Weiss, but 2014 was a bit of a problematic year. I was in the team, out the team. I had my moments. The Challenge Cup, I had my little time in the sun, but then I again found myself kind of in and out of coaches' plans, and if you find it difficult to get consistent game time, and you feel as though your performance isn't perhaps quite as good as it was 2 or 3 years ago, then you have to take a step back and think, okay, do I want to be known as someone who's been hanging around for too long and just, I wanted to end things on my own terms, and I think that was why I spent to Coach Dooley and said, although the main reason was because of my family, but also I felt as though it was the time that I didn't want to be known as someone who played past their peak. I think I probably could play at a good level or a good standard for the UFL for another couple of years. I don't think that would be an issue, but I think I had a good season last season, but I know in myself, I feel myself getting more and more tired after the games. I feel myself feeling a little more heavy than normal, and that's natural as you get into your 30s. And I've seen other players who are trying to hang around the league and it's hard for me to watch them,
Yeah.
and because I know what they were like. You know, I knew what they were like 2 or 3 years ago. I think, wow, they were really on top of their game, and now they're just a shadow of their former self. And you know, I'm not that vain. I don't feel, you know, I wouldn't worry too much about what other people think of me. But just for myself, you know, I wanted to end on a positive note, and you know, there was really no better way for me to end, you know, with that championship and that title.
You know, usually it takes an incident in one's life. What I'm becoming, it takes an incident in one's life to change the next step, and you know, but it's true.
Right.
It's true. I mean, I had my first baby when very young. So what did I do? I dropped out of school because I had a lot of kids actually that I was handling my first year. I dropped out. It's my choice. I'm not bobo. My choice. UP to. My choice. Wala nang drugs eh. I mean, joke!
All right, kids.
Anyway.
And that wraps up the show.
No, anyway, but the thing there is, it really takes, like what Chris said. And you know, once I heard and I read about the announcement, these things came into my mind. Your baby, you don't want to leave, because also Chiefy talked to me, and I talked to Chiefy. I said, Chief, you still have 2 years. When the fuck when you're retiring? They got, I feel it already. It's the same. And I said, okay, I respect everybody's position. There's no such thing as too young, because like me, what made me decide to retire from playing and stop schooling was with the kids I was handling. I was handling over 80 my first year. I was only 20. I was just a kid. I was 21, 22. You know, so, but it's like a calling. You'll see it. The most important thing there is that the passion as a player went out to coaching. So it's a different story if Chris retired completely.
Right.
From playing, boom, out. Just leaves just be a dad and go back to the States or go to England or whatever and work, you know, 8 to 9 job. Who fucking wants to work in 8 to 5?
But our job's longer, coach.
I can work from 10 to 2. I like to work in Spain though. Spain, you get paid so much and you have so much siesta time, papa. Anyway, yeah, come on, why not like that in the Philippines? Anyway, what were you saying? I don't know what you said.
No, actually, I mean, what I was joking about was more in terms of, yeah, the job might not be structured, but we actually spend more hours.
Yes, we spend more hours. I mean, all my players, even not my players, they know I'm 24/7. I told you before. You can touch me since I only sleep 2-3 hours, 4 hours a day. You know, so it's the passion kasi that you do. You know, I think I'll have a miserable life now if I wasn't into football. Of course, I have to earn. I'm getting 4 freaking paychecks just to make ends meet. But the thing there is, I love what I'm doing. You see, like when I do talks for the youth. Yes, I do talk to the youth with no cursing, except for college. But college, may kasama mura. It's high school, wag muna.
Oh, right.
Diba? But I'm saying, look.
You've changed.
No, I'm still the same. Don't worry, I'm still the same asshole. If you take your job as work, you will never last. But if you take your job as an everyday thing that you look forward to, then you're gonna stay. That's why I'm here for 36 years.
Right.
Me, lovely me. Friends with all the referees and other coaches and other whatever man saying.
No, it's true.
You need to be
100%.
there.
Right.
I don't see Chris retiring in from coaching even when he reaches 45, 50 years old. I think. Don't embarrass me. Eh?
What do you think? I mean,
We'll have to see what he says.
No, you cannot say. You cannot say.
but I mean,
Until how long you're going to be coaching.
yeah, it's a completely new responsibility, right?
Look at the world class coaches.
Yeah, they've been around.
What's his name? We just fucked when he retired. He's still with the Man U organization.
Sir Alex.
Alex Ferguson.
Yes, direct.
I think he's a VP or whatever for whatever. No, what department. You cannot just leave that. You know, even every year, remember, I always say after the UAP, I don't want to see you guys in 2 months. I'll call for a training already. After 1 week, I'm looking for it already. I need to look for a game. What's the fucking game? Even a catch-up game, I'll go. You know, if it's in Eparador, in Rizal, or whatever school, I'll go just to see. It's there.
Yeah.
These are the people. I'm not saying me again, but I'm available if you need. These are people you need in the real office.
Yeah.
Not just talk.
Is that
Like they say, talk is cheap.
is that something similar to you? Can you relate to that kind of?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think both of us are here because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris wouldn't have uprooted himself from New Jersey to come here if the passion wasn't there.
And you wouldn't be here also.
Exact same.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
I mean, we wouldn't be. You also wouldn't be here.
Yeah. I had other stuff to
You
do.
were DJing the radio, you know, doing stupid stuff for football.
Yeah, man. It's unfortunate. I don't know what the hell we're doing.
Why are we here? You know, I'll tell you, Chris. In my Sobel field, using my Sobel field, 30 years I've waited for a field like that. You know, 30 years. I've always waited for the new president comes in and I
Patient
say,
man.
well, like I said, there's sorry track and field, no more oval because I stole. I wait for the new president after every 3 years. Brother, we need the more. My field was 46 by 86.
That's what you call political will.
Now I have 92 by 60. You see? There's even a tree there that you cannot take out, but I did anyway. You know, but the thing there is, if you have this attitude like these guys, like we all have here, I'm not selling myself because we don't need to sell ourselves. What the fuck do you think I am? Puta? We're not. What we're saying is, no walang puta, husto. You know, for the guys they call husto.
You're gonna sidetrack yourself from this chain of thought.
I know, again,
I'm pretty sure.
that's why you're here.
I'm pretty sure.
I always do the same shit, man. Anyway, see, I forgot what I'm saying.
So we should move on then. We've got.
Okay.
No, we get it. We need
Let's
people
move on.
like this.
Sorry. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? I mean, what we've been discussing for the past hour, you already understand what we're talking about. It is not just that I'm happy to say that Chris is new appointment as the head coach now, but hopefully we'll see him still full. He had 2 more years to play, even last 20, 15 minutes. You know, and Paul here is one of the youngest managers. I think you are the youngest manager.
You might be.
Maybe
Yeah.
youngest. And you have a technical director, the youngest technical director of the UFM.
I think you're the only one.
Shut up. Anyway, no, I'm the real technical director. Anyway, everybody knows here what we're watching now. I mean, hey, take me now, I forgot. Weren't there any other phone-in questions, Facebook, tweet for Chris and Paul?
I like this guy. It's just,
Yeah.
We do have. You can bring it up because
We got time.
all right, we'll get to it in just a little bit. We also have to talk about the ASCALs.
the ASCALs.
But prior to that,
Can we do that? Boys, tonight, girls.
Prior to talking about that, I just wanted to sneak in one particular thing that has been surrounding Kaya in the last few years. Right, a lot of people raise their eyebrows whenever there's a coaching change or if there's a dip in performances. Like at the latter parts of seasons or something like this, and people always say that the rumors are that there's a lot of power from the players. Like there's a lot of player power that makes it difficult for a coach to implement their style or something like this. Is there any truth in that?
I think
in the influence of players in the inability to stay of coaches.
do you want me to answer that?
You can go first.
Yeah, let management answer first. Let's see.
I don't believe in that. Straight out, I don't. I mean, because as a professional coach, if you can't handle professionals who have opinions, then you're not right for the job. I think that's my simple answer to that. I mean, you're gonna have egos. You're gonna have. I mean, these guys don't travel from Africa and Asia and Europe and the US or even from the province to come here to just follow military style. I mean, you pick these guys because they're good enough to make your team. And if they're good enough to make your team, you have to be able to filter through which of their opinions are valuable and which ones are not worth your time. Yeah. But if those opinions are too much for you to handle and you can't take it, then you're not right for the job.
So, okay. I agree.
Chris?
Yeah, no, I echo Paul's sentiments. I mean, I think we have got a lot of big characters in our team for sure.
Yeah. Egos.
You call them egos, but I think they're just big characters. But I mean, I think it's up to the coach, and it's now my responsibility to handle that group and keep them in check. And if they obviously don't toe the line, then there has to be consequences. I mean, I can't envisage many players stepping out of line with you, and that's if you have the command of the respect of the group, then that's going to hold you in good stead. I mean, when you got people like Adi Borromeo, of course you're going to listen to his opinion,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the guy's, you know, he's had an incredible career. Why wouldn't you listen to someone like that?
Yeah.
You know, why wouldn't you listen to someone like Masa Omura? You'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
So I think you have to, you know, you have to draw the line between, okay, you make your own decision as a coach and you'd be strong enough in your own self to make those decisions, but you have to listen to the team. You know, you have to listen to the opinions, especially from your key players. So that's something that I think, you know, as a coach, I'll be looking to do.
Has it been difficult? Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, it's the balance hasn't been too difficult to address because I think I've always distanced myself, even as a player. Like I don't really socialise much with the players. When we're there with teammates, that's fine. You know, you can laugh and joke and have a good time. But you know, I can count in the 3 years that I've been here, the amount, on one hand, the amount of times you've been out, and it's normally, you know, end of season or, you know, a Christmas party or something like that. You know, it's never something in season where I'd be willing to go out because I have other responsibilities and I have other priorities, and my time's done. My time like that's done. And the same goes for Ali, the same goes for Massa and those other guys. You know, when you get
it's a marriage. It's a marriage. Yeah. Coach and player, coach and friend.
Right.
Like I said, it's like a marriage. I mean, I don't think our wives would love to go home and relax out in the evening and one is ranting about his job or what happened at work. In same principle, Chris, Ali, Masa, these guys are all close friends. But now that Chris is the coach, Ali has got to respect that. Okay? But Chris respects Ali as well, as he just said earlier, because of the experience that Ali has. And of course, you will listen to him and to Masa. Masa has played international as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
He's played club football in other countries before. So, but you know, when let's say when push
comes to shove,
the coach has to be followed.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even with my own kids when they were playing for me. Actually, kawawa. I always tell my players, you think I'm having it, you know, easy because my son's my player, he's always starting first 11 and all that shit. No. And then the farthest I go to talk to my sons, is in the car. And not even go halfway. Once I'm in front of my house, that's it. I don't even want to talk about football anymore. You gotta give him space.
Right.
So just like Chris's friends who are his teammates, who are now his players, Chris has got to give them that space as their players, and they should be, let's say, more intelligent to understand that Chris is now their coach.
Yeah.
So they have to give him his space,
right,
and respect him as the coach.
Boundaries, folks.
Yeah, exactly, because it's a marriage. You have no way. But who loses? Not the coach, the player. You know, if you get separated, you get kicked out by your wife. Your wife's the coach. You're the player. You got no choice. Get out of here. Yeah, same shit. So it's going to be difficult for Chris, or maybe easier for Chris now. I think. That's my 2 cents worth to you. It'll maybe be easier for you now. They'll reciprocate more, or the players that are your teammates, that were your teammates. But I don't think it's going to last that long. After a while, Chris will have to put his foot down, and believe in what his principle in coaching is, what he wants to do with the team and all that. And no one's going to tell him, no,
right,
I can do this, that. I've seen a lot of these problems in schools, you know, in other sports. Fortunately not in my football program.
Right.
Nobody can. What I'm saying is, like a coach has been here for 3 years, 4 years, natanggal, replaced by another coach. The players have the gall to tell the coach that, no, this is how we played.
Right.
This is how we played. So you can't say that.
Well, yeah, I think that happens.
Yeah.
I think that happens
It's a lot.
all over the place. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see, as one of the youngest coaches.
Yeah.
Right now, and
no, youngest period.
Youngest,
Not
and
one. He is the youngest.
Fresh from being embedded in sort of the national team, and I don't think too many we've had characters like this who've been able to, and not only just coaching but also taking in a responsibility in the academy as well. So there's definitely a lot of development on the shoulders of Chris Greatwich. And before we start talking about the national team, we are going to roll a clip actually of Chris Greatwich. Do you have that clip? for those who are unfamiliar with Chris Greatwich and his heroics for the national team. I honestly believe you don't get enough respect. You know,
That's fine.
you don't get enough
We disagree on that one.
Yeah.
Look at that. This is
The famous shoulder.
versus Vietnam, 2010.
Nice.
When he had normal hair.
My hair was terrible. A lot of the haircuts are bad there.
And this is the national team that made waves. Of course, this was in Vietnam. Oof. And prior to this, he scored against Singapore as well
Yeah.
to tie the game. Really big goal scored by Chris Greatwich in that 2010
I get made fun
campaign.
of for that by Rob. the fist pump.
You know what I want to see? Suggestion, Paul. Can your coaching staff of Kaya be in necktie, slacks, leather shoes? I want to see Chris sweating.
Nah, definitely. I've had this discussion with a lot of my friends. They said, you know, are you going to be a suit man? Especially the guys who I played with back in the UK. You know, you're going to be a suit or tracksuit.
Tracksuit.
I said, there's like shorts and t-shirt. It's not even either of those two. Definitely not going to be wearing a suit. I'm that sweaty.
You know,
It doesn't
a lot of us are the same. The ones that you see, like Thomas Dooley, you never see him in.
Yeah.
He's wearing the shorts, the jeans, and whatever.
I'd stop at the backwards cap. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't wear that.
He's American.
Yeah.
Is him?
But he says he's German.
Hey, Thomas, you brought your Harley all the way down here, huh?
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Let's talk about the national team game that's going to be happening tonight. That's a huge one. Philippines versus
8
Yemen.
p.m., folks. 8 p.m.
After some disappointing results against North Korea and Uzbekistan.
Not North Korea. I beg
Sorry.
to disagree.
Bahrain.
Oh, sorry,
Bahrain.
Bahrain. My fault.
Bahrain for me is the worst.
Bahrain, we didn't play well.
Yes.
Uzbekistan, we played well in patches, but when it counted, they smashed the goals in. So that was 5-1. But against Bahrain, it was a bit more of a limp performance from the team. Today, however, do you guys have any? What are the expectations going into this one? No Phil Young-husband. He's suspended for this one. Javier Patino, I think, is available.
Yes.
Not quite sure if he's been practicing with the team or not.
Yes.
Woodland is out. He's been replaced by Juan Igurado. So yeah, not really too many lineup changes aside
Rob's
from
back.
that.
Rob Gear is back.
Yeah, Gear is back. Juan Igurado is back.
So who will replace?
And Storbla is playing in this place of Etheridge.
Wani for
Mueller.
Woodland, but Rob is for who? Who
Rob
was
was
in
there last
the
time.
Gear was already part of the lineup the last time.
He was there.
Bahrain? He was there already.
He was there.
Okay.
He didn't play though.
Why don't we go through the lineup?
Okay, real quickly, it's Dennis Villanueva, Amani Aguinaldo, Misa Bahadoran, Kenshiro Daniels, Patrick Deto. Etheridge is injured for this game. Rob Gear, Juan Igurado, Kevin Ingreso, Jerry Lucena. Is that how you say it? No. Jerry Lucena. We have Paul Molders. Martin Stoible is there.
Stoible.
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 They say it's Stoible every time.
I made sure. I asked him. It's Stoible.
Stoible. All right.
Stoible.
We've got Roland Muller, Manny Ott, Stephen Pala, Javier Patino, OJ Porteria, Ian Ramsey, Patrick Reichelt, Simone Rota is back fit, Daisuke Sato, Stefan Schrock, and Phil Young-husband, who is not eligible to play in this game. So the two Kaya players.
Not eligible because
is that
of his
correct?
2 yellow cards already.
Yeah.
So just for the fans, they wonder why he's there but he's not playing.
So Porteria remains in the list from Kaya FC along with Kenshiro Daniels.
And this is the last game at home
the year.
For the year, pala. Next year, I don't know what month. North Korea by March. Okay. Is that
Uzbekistan away.
Uzbekistan away?
Yeah.
Last 2 games, right? Because Yemen, Bahrain were done.
Yeah.
By today, we're done with both teams.
Yeah.
So next year, when we play North Korea, I hope everybody comes and fills up. Please make it in Rizal.
Yeah.
Please, I beg you.
So we beat Yemen.
I hate going home at 2 a.m. after watching football game. Hungry and angry. Because traffic's like shit. So in Rizal, hopefully tonight, hopefully we can get everybody in. Because it's 8 o'clock anyway. So folks, come in because you have a long week.
Seemed to be more press and PR stuff for the last one than this.
Well, kulang kasama ko. Yeah, kulang. We need
Yemen?
marketing people.
We beat them 2-0 last time. Predictions for this game, guys?
Yes.
Well, it's must win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's must win, have to win.
We need the 3 points.
I think if you look at the we didn't really get to see much of the North Korea game, but the highlights and the general consensus from the guys seems to be that it was a very good performance in quite a testing situation. Yeah. So I think that was a really good result. By all accounts, the travel to Bahrain was difficult. I think the travel time, the stopovers, and etc. I think that played a big part in perhaps the sluggishness of the performance in Bahrain. So I think, given the magnitude of the game, I don't think the national team really lets us down in those must-win situations. So I think we'll see a victory.
What's important here now, Chris, is I hope that our players here don't take it into heart about that Yemen have 3 or 4 players that are playing, and that because of the war or the trouble that they have in Yemen, they've been living in Qatar or one of the neighboring countries for the last 3 months. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised you don't know that, eh?
Sure. I'm not caught up on Bob Guerrero's article.
I only read the FHM, Playboy.
I know Bob Guerrero wrote about this, yeah, so, all right, so they're in a difficult situation, so
yes.
Coming over here, it might be...
Overconfidence, I hope they don't have that. I mean, just go out and get those 3 points.
Certainly the absence of Phil Younghusband will be a factor, but we'll see if it...
That's the thing. Who do you think, Chris, will be playing at the holding?
In that midfield slot where...
I mean, there seems to be a bit of a dearth of holding midfielders at the moment, which is in my time that was always we were oversubscribed with holding midfield players, and obviously having Jerry playing predominantly in the back it means another one is out. But he typically has gone for more attacking options in that centre midfield, hasn't he? With Manny and Phil had quite 2 attack-minded central midfielders. So. I mean, he's got a lot of options. I think he can potentially play in there.
There's so many players that can take that position.
Yeah.
Even Martin can
Well, I think Martin's done a good job on in that wide position, hasn't he? Yeah. So I think it'd be. I don't think.
But remember when Martin started with us, he was placed in the middle and he was doing quite well.
Yeah, he did really well. Yeah.
And then now with Thomas Dooley, he went back to the wing.
But he's very versatile, isn't he? I mean,
yes.
Him and I made his debut. Him and I played in midfield together against Malaysia, and he did a good job in that game. But I think since he showed his versatility, he's played on the wing, he's played at full back at times. So I think that's he's got 2 great feet. So I think he's able to slot in any of those positions. I think he'd be a good option to play in the middle.
I would think if Thomas Dooley would start Wani and Rob in the middle, Jerry could play up because the left wing back position. I mean, that's Daisuke's domain. I don't see anybody who can replace him in that position as of now. On the right, Simone is back, so you never know. Maybe Simone could even do it because we need also the height there in the middle. Can be also because Simone has been playing an attacking wing back. So actually, there's quite a number of players that you could put there.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see. It is at 8 o'clock this evening playing.
Rizal Stadium, don't go to PSS. Some people might go to PSS.
You can go there, man. Be a die-hard fan. Head over to Bulacan on your own.
You come from Alabang and you went by taxi to PSS. And guess to find out, the Kings in Rizal.
Don't do that, folks. But if you do that, take pictures, please, and send it our way. We'd like to see it. But yeah, game tonight. Good luck to the team. And if you're not going to be at the stadium, definitely catch it on ABS-CBN.
Sports in action. The goalkeeping coach, Zubi, I forgot his full name.
Pascal Zibabula.
Whatever he said.
Yeah.
Well, he's back. I saw some pictures yesterday that he's the one back in training. I think he was also for the Bahrain, no? He was already in.
So yeah.
So, the trust now that we have on the coaching staff. Sebastian's still there, I'm sure. Of course, and Zubi there now. Yes.
Wow. Do you have something dictating to you the time? I like that.
I'm not gonna say what for because you gotta pay me if you want to endorse your phone. Hey?
You gotta watch.
I got kids too, man. Okay. So, do we still have time?
No.
No more time.
Yeah.
Sorry, as usual. We're waiting for the time that the network would give us 2 hours. Because my co-host talks too much.
Clearly,
talks too much, so we need another extra 30 minutes. No, because definitely everybody knows that we just scratch the surface on every guest thing that we have.
Yeah.
There are a lot more we can talk about because football is so wide. There's so much we can talk about. There's so many topics we can touch on. But definitely, this is not going to be the first and the last time that Chris is coming in.
We'll see.
To
If
guest.
they can twist his arm again to come on down.
Just call management. Just call management. It's not what you know.
It's when are you guys going to AFC qualifiers? When is that? When does that begin?
Well, the exact dates are to be determined, but what's slotted right now is February 2.
Ooh.
That early?
All right.
Yes, because we have to play the
You
knockout game.
got a tough job ahead of you, boy.
Yeah.
We'll
Big
find out
ones.
for sure in December.
Okay. No
no
idea
November,
who you guys are
December
gonna face
to
yet,
go.
right? No idea.
December pa. You
I
have
mean,
break.
yeah.
Yeah. January, the start of the United Football League season. Actually, Paul and Coach Hans are going to be part of a big meeting today to find out the future. Oh, is that tomorrow? The future of the United Football League next season. So we'll update you on that the next time we get around.
Jing doesn't mean that if something happens in the UFL, it's not Paul's and my fault, okay?
Yeah.
We're attending. We are attending.
Yeah, they're just attending, and they're gonna report back to us what's going on in those meetings. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys here.
Thanks
for the
having
show. Spending time here. Congratulations.
Thanks for having us as your host on the show.
Congratulations on the UFL Cup.
buddy.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, it's exciting times for Kaya. I mean, to have Chris Greatwich there, a person that everybody has
I
associated
still want to
themselves
see
with.
Chris Greatwich in slacks and leather shoes.
Yeah, man.
At least Fabian was tucked in and all this, so you should be the same, Chris.
Perkovic.
And when it's your time to play, just do a Superman.
Rip it off.
So rip it off and you jersey tie.
I think that's how it works, right? 1-0 down, 10 minutes to go. Just pull it off.
Dun, dun, dun.
We'll miss the no-look passes, man.
Yeah,
The no-look passes. We're going to have quite a few.
Oh yeah, he's got a freaking job. He's got to look for his replacement.
We're going to see much less of those.
That's you know what? That's the hardest thing to do.
What?
Finding your own replacement.
Right, yeah.
True. I've been trying to look for more than a decade who can replace me as coach. Nobody's got my beautiful language. They don't know. They have to learn. They have to study.
Dude, I was just thinking about that. Is it just going to be Mark Hartman now with the no-look passes? It's just going to be him.
OJ. OJ started that
Yeah,
here.
OJ does that as well.
I like all that.
All right, man. We'll let you guys go. Stuff to do today, I'm sure.
Yeah, we gotta
go. So appreciate you guys tuning into the show once again. Fourth season of Hands On will continue next week, I'm hoping.
No, nothing next week. I have to attend the summit.
Yeah, stuff it.
I gotta talk to Putin
You gotta say what's up to Putin.
Putin,
Yeah,
Putin,
All right.
and Obama.
All right, so hopefully we'll get a chance to come back and update you guys on how things are going. When is this? 2 weeks from now or a week from now? We'll see. Yeah?
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. All right, so thanks a lot for tuning into the show as always, guys. Thanks a lot to Sarasasal Football Club, always supporting the show. And yeah, we'll catch you guys when we see you 2 weeks from now, hopefully.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you again.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, coach.
Appreciate it.
It's not the last time, huh?
Yeah, we'll see.
Not the last time. Maybe when they have new signings, we can get them back again.
Okay, that's it. Bye, guys. Go away.
ya.
Bye.
The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the New Media Factory. Some programs on this network might include strong images and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.